Excellent!
What a pleasant day it is today.
It's raining, dude.
Is it raining?
It's totally raining outside.
Did it start raining?
It did.
Hey! Hey guys! Hey everyone, I think we should be live now, so if you're watching us, welcome. Thank you for joining us. This is the Awesome Hardware, This is Awesome Hardware.
Yep.
Which is a live show that Kyle and I do every week on Tuesday evenings at 5:30 p.m. Pacific time. We broadcast live to twitch.tv/awesomehardware. The show is split in half, so you'll be here with me for, 45-ish minutes or so. And then the second half will be over on Kyle's channel, so if you guys are watching this in the future on YouTube and you come to the end, don't worry, there's still more over on Kyle's side. And we're going to have a good show today. We have some tech news to talk about. We have some announcements, though. Maybe we should start off with.
Absolutely.
We should also double check and make sure that people can see what the heck, or like everything's going all right.
Right. So initially, I think, Paul, we had agreed beforehand to not drink any beer today on today's stream.
That's true.
And then we were notified by the Manic Geek, which is an advocate and follower of us, really good guy, and he notified us that today is National Beer Day. So
National Beer Day?
Yeah, so we have to drink beer now.
I guess we have no choice but to have a beer. Normally we don't drink on the show, but for today, cheers.
We'll make an exception.
Happy National Beer Day to all of you guys out there. It's fortunate that I happen to have some Arrogant Bastard.
Yeah.
Wow, that went everywhere.
It's still good. Still good.
I'm rocking some Arrogant Bastard Ale.
Good for you.
What's that noise?
I'm going to tell her to pipe down.
Is that your fiance?
Yes, it is.
Playing music? Like, oh yeah, we're live in here. It's okay, Heather.
It's all good.
Don't worry about it.
I still love you.
Anyway, so thanks for joining us today. We got some Arrogant Bastard Ale. Kyle's drinking.
It's an Anderson Valley Oatmeal Stout.
Oatmeal Stout.
It's good drinking beer. This is actually from the Coachella stash. I bought a bunch of beer for Coachella because I'm going this weekend. We bought about 150 cans.
Cheers.
So I stole one from there.
Cheers to all you guys.
Yep. Delicious.
That's delicious.
So good.
Now, Kyle brought me this English pint glass.
I did.
To drink out of.
Because I'm badass.
Also because it would segue so nicely into our additional announcements that we have.
Yes.
Which include the show notes, which I don't have up anymore.
Well, on to the next announcement is that I've kind of created this new segment for the show.
Kyle's got a new segment on your half, right?
On my half, which you guys will see later.
Completely original idea.
Completely original idea. I shouldn't say I created it because it's a complete and blatant ripoff of the Pimp My Setup show that Matt Philly does on his channel. So if you want to check his channel out, it's youtube.com/SwashinTV. SWASHIN TV.
Swashin makes me want to yell, Johnson!
Johnson! Johnson!
Gotta bring that back.
Makes you want to like... Yeah, I don't know what it makes me want to do. But anyway, this new segment is called Pimp My PC. So it works in much the same vein as Pimp My Setup does, except we're going to be taking pictures from you guys of your personal rigs, your desktops and stuff, and Paul and I are going to just kind of critique them and tell you what might be able to be improved upon them so that you can have a badass setup. So I'm telling you this now because I want you guys to tweet your pictures of these awesome rigs of yours to me at Forever a Kyle. I think that'll just be easier to tweet it just to me because then we can pull it just one source for it all to go to when we bring it up.
We're backwards again.
We're backwards.
By the way, our Twitter handles are flip-flopped.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm on the left. I'm on the right.
They know us by now. Yeah. They're smart. So go ahead and throughout the duration of the show, at any point where you feel comfortable, tweet me a picture of your build. I want the side panel off so that we can see the internals and all the innards. Otherwise, it's kind of pointless. So go ahead and tweet me your pictures at Forever a Kyle. It's the Twitter handle just underneath Paul because we totally planned all of this. And then we'll be taking a look at some of them. We won't be able to get through all of them, I'm sure, but definitely 4 or 5 or 6 of them later on the show. So there's that.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
One last announcement, guys. This is just kind of a forward-looking thing, but as you guys might know, Kyle and I both have our own individual stores, and we sell shirts mostly right now, and maybe some hoodies and stuff like that. I know I'm looking to expand what I'm selling, though, so hey, you kicked the mic.
I know, I'm not going to do that again.
Don't do that.
I won't.
So I'm actually working on some glassware. I'm going to start off actually with an English pint glass.
Really?
Like this, yes.
You're a glass
What
hole.
do you think?
You're a total glass hole.
English pint glass. So that'll be coming soon. Also working on some new logo stuff, like an expansion of the logo now, and it's going to be fantastic.
I've seen it. I've seen it. It looks
I like
cool.
how it's coming along.
It looks good.
So hopefully be revealing that soon, and for now, you can still get our normal shirts over on the...
I have a design coming too soon.
Kyle's got a new design he's working on. But,
Sweet.
All right, enough announcements, enough pre-show nonsense.
Announce a death.
Let's move right into my first segment, which is a new segment.
Yep.
Lovingly titled after a Peter Gabriel song.
Love him.
My new segment is called In Your Franchise.
So, like, in your eyes?
Yes. Get it?
In your French eyes?
The thing was, I thought of this name, and then I was like, I feel like that's by Peter Gabriel or something, and I was actually right. I have no idea how I did that.
In the future, we're going to have a little clip of that song to intro the segment.
Yeah,
I think
we're
really
still
nice.
working on the licensing rights for that.
So what is In Your Franchise all about, Paul?
Well, first we need to address something, Kyle.
Okay.
And so we've just gone into our first segment, and there's no lower thirds on the screen indicating to people what segment we're on.
Right.
We're on OBS. Right now, we're not using XSplit. We're trying to get that set up, but it's not quite ready, so we decided to go with the tried and true to OBS. So sorry about that. That's also why we're streaming at a higher bitrate right now, so if anyone's on a slower connection, I apologize.
I'm sorry, really quick. People are saying that there's some ambient background noise. I believe that might be the air conditioner.
That's the air conditioner.
Okay.
Our audio is not that great.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And if we were to turn the air conditioner off, you would just be seeing Paul and I just dripping sweat in this room with the studio lights and this small little room that I have. So we're sorry. Hopefully you guys can bear with it.
So back to my segment though, which is called In Your Franchise, which is a hilarious take on Peter Gabriel's song In Your Eyes.
Totally.
Anyway, enough of that. Which is about established franchises or internet IPs, that sort of thing. We're going to start with some Star Wars news, which is that Star Wars Digital Movie Collection is going to launch globally on Friday.
I heard about that.
Isn't that fascinating?
That's exciting.
You can now digitally own the Star Wars movies, including the original 3, 4, 5, and 6, as well as 1, 2, and 3.
In HD, I'm sure. Digital HD.
Yeah, digital HD. This is all leading up to the Star Wars: The Force Awakens, which is launching on, which is releasing on December 18th, 2015.
Yep.
And it's kind of interesting. I don't know. I'm a Star Wars fan. I like Star Wars. I think
who doesn't?
I like lots of geek culture stuff. I'm not crazy into a lot of it, but if my wife and I had to, my wife would be on the Star Trek side, and I'd probably be on the Star Wars side. Although I do like both. But as just some other info here, Friday, April 10th is when these are going to be available. They're all available digitally, although they were available digitally prior to now, if you consider DVD or Blu-ray being digital.
Okay.
Supposedly.
Sure. Yeah.
But
it's just making it more accessible for mobile,
more accessible.
all kinds of devices. Now you can stream it, or you can own it on multiple devices.
Yeah, so digital distribution platforms include iTunes, Apple iTunes, Google Play, as well as Amazon Instant Video, which are kind of the big ones that most people probably have some access to on some level. This is a UK-based story, so the UK Amazon price for this bundle is £69, which is roughly equivalent to $1.5 million US. That includes HD.
That doesn't sound right.
We'll look it up later.
Steep,
it includes HD and SD versions. Individually, you can get the films for £11.99. £11.99
pounds.
What are cents? What does a pound break into in Great Britain?
Ounces.
I haven't been there.
Ounces.
All right, so
11 pounds and 99 ounces.
11 pounds 99 ounces. Which roughly equates to about $1.99 US. Now, you get digital extras, some commentary, deleted scenes. They have a list of what deleted scenes are included, which is kind of cool. My question, and I tried to research this as we were preparing for the show, and I looked a few places, but I wasn't able to verify it, which is, which versions are these? Are these the bastardized, digitally updated versions that they made where,
Vader's going, no!
Yeah, where Greedo shoots first and Vader shouts no and all that kind of stupid stuff.
Right.
I mean, I know they did some, re-releases without all that stuff kind of recently, but I would hope that these would be the original versions and not the stupid ones with all the gimmicky... and 2010-ish.
When they put, especially the CG, when they insert the
stuff,
CG into the original 3, it just looks so off-putting and jarring, right? Because everything else looks like crap. Even if it's HD, it looks like crap compared to this CG where it's completely obvious that they've inserted it and it doesn't look. You've lost the raw appeal of the show.
There's one thing to I need to tweet
the series.
I need to tweet the show.
By the way, it's pence, not ounces.
Pence.
Yes. Thank you.
Like a tuppence.
Sure.
That's in Mary Poppins. It's about as much as I know about England.
Love
it. No,
I
I like England. on a conceptual level.
Screw England.
I've never been there. You should have more respect. Okay, I need to tweet the show. That's important.
Oh,
I
yeah.
should do that.
Yeah,
Did you do
too.
that? You had your tweet already, and you haven't done it yet.
Boom! It's done. That's how efficient I am.
Kyle's is all set up.
That's why I said it.
Now the last and the last question here, and I'll ask you this, Kyle, so you can burn a few seconds while I tweet something.
Okay.
Is do you own any of the Star Wars franchises, any of the movies from the Star Wars franchises, and what mediums have you purchased them on thus far?
I own all of them, and I've pirated all of them.
Wait, so you pirated all of them? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Oh,
Why not?
okay. I thought
Whatever. They have enough money.
I thought you were.
I'm trying to be the worst kind of person right now.
Okay.
But that is true. I have pirated every single one.
Well, because you could conceptually, you could theoretically at this point have. I've already bought them like on beta, VHS, like Laserdisc, DVD, and Blu-ray. So like if you're a hardcore Star Wars fan, you might have bought like
a bunch of them in the
you might
same
have bought
ones
the same
in different
movie
mediums.
in different mediums many times.
No,
now.
I
but now
kinda
you can get it digitally.
I've been pirating for a while.
Okay.
And I'll re-pirate them after like different revisions. Like, oh, there's a higher definition version of episode 6 or something, and I'll go ahead and download that when I hear about it. But yeah, pirating's great.
That's
Sorry. I should really buy the Blu-ray.
Why is Twitter telling me that natured is not a word? Good natured.
Because Twitch is dumb.
If
You
I
can't
hyphenate
you
it,
can't even search for porn on Twitch anymore.
I said, "Come join us for good natured frivolity."
Makes sense.
I was trying to do a quote from Harry Potter, but I'm not quite sure if that's the right quote. Okay, so Star Wars, that's our first franchise that we're talking about here
Yeah.
on this new segment, In Your Franchise.
Yeah. Nice.
Just have to keep hammering that home. We have titles. Hey, that's not working. Why is it do... Oh, no!
What?
Oh, no, it broke.
Why? What?
It's not doing the right Twitch thing. I wonder if I put this over there if it'll show up. No, that's not going to work. Ah, no, I'm sorry, guys. You know what I'm just going to have to do is close this window, and then I think it might fix it. But so the limitations, we have OBS, and we only have one monitor, so we can't do monitor capture stuff. So let me see if this...
We're a bunch of plebs today,
fixes
guys, using OBS.
Ah, there, I fixed it.
Hey, nice.
But now I can't see how many people are here anymore. Oh my gosh, we're almost over 200.
Yes.
All right, we're not doing anything else. We're not continuing the show until we break 200.
I don't think
No more
that's
talking,
a good
Kyle.
way to...
Still one. Oh wait,
It's not working.
all right. No, we'll just go with it. Okay. Sorry. Back to what we were talking about. The next story, which is of course X-Men. That's a popular franchise.
Yeah, I guess.
Do you enjoy X-Men?
Sure, of course.
Yes.
As long as it's not like the Wolverine-driven ones where it's just about Hugh Jackman being Hugh Jackman.
I really like Wolverine. Wolverine is my favorite X-Man.
I do too.
I really don't like what they've done with the Wolverine movies. Those
Right.
have made me want to gouge my eyes
But
out.
the latest one was good. Days of Future
Days
Past
of Future
was
Past.
really good. I enjoyed it.
really liked.
Super entertaining. One of the best.
Yeah, great to watch. The plot line was very interesting. I liked the whole time travel thing. I liked the inclusion of Bishop. Bishop was like I wasn't a huge comic book fan reading a lot of the X-Men ones, but I remember I had Bishop and I read through that storyline. I remember him using the phrase "termination sweep," and I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought so. I really enjoyed Days of Future Past, but Bryan Singer is actually doing what they're calling a rogue cut. And they're calling it a rogue cut because Rogue was actually in the
Comic?
in the comic. She was in the movie too. Anna Paquin shot several scenes for Days of Future Past, but they mostly got cut out.
Oh, okay.
So you really didn't see her in the movie. I think she was maybe in one or two scenes.
So it's just a bunch of deleted scenes, but mainly
It's just all
with
Rogue. They've just
Oh.
added Rogue back to the movie. No, they've done other things. He said he changed the ending slightly, or I don't know. He did some stuff, but I really like Bryan Singer. I think he's a fantastic director. I've loved him since he did The Usual Suspects. Way back in the day.
That's a classic.
That was like his breakout movie. If you guys
That's one of your favorites.
it's one of my top. He's also a USC alumni. Go Trojans. Shut your face.
I just farted.
But yeah, if you guys haven't seen The Usual Suspects and you're looking for a movie this weekend or later tonight, watch The Usual Suspects.
I gotta pirate that.
Kyle's gonna pirate it. But yeah, I don't really have a whole lot extra to say about this. Just that I enjoyed Days of Future Past. It'll be cool to see. I like director's cuts, especially when like we don't care how long it is anymore. We're just gonna like put in everything we feel was there.
Yeah.
And that's often fun to watch. I like the extended editions of like the Lord of the Rings while we're talking about popular franchises or whatever.
Right. And Anna Paquin, Rogue. Who doesn't like Rogue? She's awesome.
I feel like this. There's video playing right here, and it's terrible. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, guys, if it was playing video in the background there and it was awful.
Damn it, Paul.
Yeah. Oh, we broke 200.
Hey,
yeah. Hello.
The show will go on, though.
All right. Cheers. Cheers to all you guys. Thanks for helping us celebrate International Beer Day. What is it? National Beer Day.
Doesn't apply to the other countries.
What's wrong with you people
Only
from other
get it.
countries not celebrating National Beer Day? Why would you not do that? I'm very disappointed.
The only ridiculous country ridiculous enough to have a national day dedicated to beer.
I guess in other countries they just call it Tuesday. Okay. Moving right along to my third little bit here in my segment, which is called In Your Franchise.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to talk a little bit about Ready Player One right now.
Oh, the book.
Now, this is not a long-established IP.
Is that video supposed to be playing?
I'm trying to turn it off, and it keeps playing again. Now it's stupid video. It's an ad,
terrible
too.
website, IGN.com.
Yeah, IGN.
Wow.
Bad on you, IGN.
Bad for streaming.
Normally, when I'm looking up stories, and if I find a website and I just try to like load up the story, and it puts like 3 videos and a pop-up overlay and stuff, I'm like, okay, website, I'm not going to show you anymore. So sorry about that, guys. Ready Player One, though, I wanted to talk about briefly because I actually just finished listening to the audiobook just this past weekend, and it's a new story, It's a book that was published in 2011 by Ernest Cline. And it's really cool. If you guys aren't familiar with it, just go check out a synopsis or something like that. But the premise is that it's in the future, like in its 2040-ish or something.
Okay.
Imagine something like World of Warcraft as an MMO blew up and just kept getting bigger and bigger to the point where it expanded beyond the level of being a game, and it just became this massive online environment that like everyone logs into. So something that's so ubiquitous.
Like Facebook.
Like Facebook, but it's not just like... Well, maybe like what Facebook wants to be. You log in and you're in a virtual world and everything like that.
Oh, it's like Second Life.
It's like Second Life.
If everyone was playing.
If everyone was playing it, and if it was a lot bigger, and if you had like licensing to do like every possible franchise that's out there. Like you've included stuff. So there's like a ton of games that you can play within this game.
It's the game to end all games, basically.
Yeah, but it's beyond that. It's like it becomes part of the global economy and all this kind of thing. But it's in the future, and like stuff in the real world has kind of gone south and blah blah blah.
Okay.
So the creator. So imagine like a crazy game developer who grew up in the '80s, who built the Oasis, is one of the fundamental designers of it. He dies. This is what happens at the very beginning of the movie, so I'm not giving away any spoilers. At the beginning of the book.
Right.
He dies, and as part of his will, he creates this massive contest for everyone who's in the Oasis, which is that he has hidden an Easter egg in the Oasis somewhere. It's really hard to find, and there's like 3 keys you gotta find in gates, and if you can find this Easter egg, then you become like the owner of the Oasis. You take his place as like... But since it's a global, and it's like all the like global economy has tanked, so like the money in the Oasis is worth more than actual money and stuff like that. So it's a very powerful thing that's gone up. So there's like big clans that go after it. There's a big company that like the company's goal is to like win this contest. So they have like this. They're like the bad guys and whatever.
It's pretty cool.
But yeah, there's a protagonist who's I shouldn't keep saying it's too much. Yeah, really fascinating book, really cool idea. It's an idea that's been used before. Imagine it like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
I was just about to say Willy Wonka.
Something like that.
About to say that. Yeah.
But a really cool book, very good read if you guys are interested. If you want the audiobook, it's narrated by Will Wheaton, and he does a great job too. So I enjoyed it a lot. But Steven Spielberg, this is the actual news about this. Is Steven Spielberg has signed on to direct, and I've kept this article up this whole time while I've been rambling.
I guess he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, so there's not a whole lot to say about this, but if you read the book, it's really cool, because, I mean, obviously, the Ernie Cline, I think he was born in, like, 72 or something like that, and so he grew up in the 80s, so this is very much an homage to his childhood and all that kind of stuff that he grew up with.
Right.
But it's I mean, if you grew up in the 80s, it's one thing. If you grew up after that, that's cool too. If you're into video games and online stuff and everything, that's really cool. But yeah, I'm very excited for the movie, and I think the biggest question that I have when it comes to the movie side of it is that there's so much intellectual property in the book that, I mean, it uses everything from old Atari stuff and Pac-Man and Commodore, like all the way up through Nintendo. So there's so much stuff going on.
Are they going to replace it with fictional IPs?
It's like what are they actually going to be able to use?
And to what extent?
In this movie to talk about it.
Yeah.
But I'm very excited. I don't think there's like a whole time, much of a timeline for it right now. I was trying to see if there's been any casting or anything like that going on. And it seems like it's still pretty early. But a very good book if you guys are into reading, and a very good audiobook if you have a long commute or something like that and you're looking for something to check out.
Yep.
And that ends my first segment.
Sweet. I like it.
Beautiful. So my next segment.
You know what I have in common with your segment there, Paul?
What is that, Kyle?
IP.
Kyle made a strong pitch to name that segment IP, which was a very good thing, but I don't know.
Maybe in future episodes, every time you start that segment, you're like, our new segment, IP, and I run off.
And then Kyle pees.
I probably will have to pee.
Every time Kyle has to pee, that means we start a new Peter Gabriel song.
Cheers to that.
That should be his punishment. Anyway, I'm still amazed that I just pulled that it was a Peter Gabriel song out of my butt. Okay.
You're old.
My next segment is another new segment.
All right.
And I think this one's kind of fun. I actually thought of this one last week, but I didn't quite have enough to talk about with it.
Yeah.
No, we all know that the world will be ending relatively soon due to the inevitable zombie apocalypse, right?
Sure.
So at some point, the dead will rise to walk the earth and will feast on all of our brains. And really, all that's going to be left is, some semblance of infrastructure, but small pockets of humanity desperately trying to stay alive as the undead hordes close in, circle around, and then eventually feast on all of our flesh. Right?
Yep.
Okay, so this segment is called Zombie Survival Weekly.
Oh. So you're going to help us survive the zombie apocalypse.
No, this is a much more positive segment than many of my segments, which apparently are kind of depressing sometimes.
Yeah, a little bit.
I don't know where that comes from. So Zombie Survival Weekly, the idea here is for it to be tech-focused. Since this is the first time I'm doing this segment, it's not as tech-focused as it should be. The idea is to highlight technology, since this is a hardware show, theoretically, that could help you survive the inevitable zombie apocalypse.
Sounds fair.
So, again, since this is
Smartphones will be our answer to ending the zombie apocalypse and fighting off the hordes.
Yes, Kyle, I'm
4G.
I'm not going to join your group.
Sword fight.
I'm Left 4 Dead. So let's start off with some basics, though. Again, since this is the first one, and I know this isn't very tech-ish, but
it's fun.
The Zombie Survival Guide.
Very popular book.
Yeah, very popular
1,400 customer reviews.
1,420 customer reviews on Amazon.
Sweet.
Paperback only $11.50. You guys owe it to yourself to purchase this if you really want to survive.
Be prepared.
This is kind of one of this very highly respected bits of work that have been done writing when it comes to zombie survival. I'm just going to scroll down here to some of the reviews. The Undead Don't Laugh. See? That's the title of that review.
Clearly they don't.
Read the rest of it.
Obviously. I could have made
somebody
that
said it's not a bad piece of horror. And Max Brooks take a bow. Anyway, so the Zombie Survival Guide. The problem here, though, and the reason why I think we need this segment, Kyle?
Why is that?
Because this was published in 2003. This is outdated. This is like over 12 years old.
We have so much more advanced technology now to equip ourselves for the apocalypse.
So technology is really, I think, where we're going to need to focus our efforts on in order to overcome the zombie hordes.
Yeah.
So that's why I think that whereas this book can provide you a good kind of basis, a starting out point,
it still needs to be updated biannually or something.
I totally forgot that I had a straw poll to go along with this. All right, so guys, I'm going to post a straw poll here in the chat, so you guys can interact on this segment a little bit. Question here is just, what's your weapon of choice during the zombie apocalypse?
I think Deus Cain's in here.
Cain's in there?
Deus Cain.
Cain should definitely answer that straw poll I just put up. So I put a list of here. I tried to kind of group them together because I know there's like so many weapons. If you want to say which weapon, there's obviously hundreds to choose from.
Yeah, of course.
So I kind of grouped them. So guys, just go ahead and pop over there when you have a chance. Give me a quick vote on that. We'll come back to
This
it in just
this
a
whole
moment.
segment makes me really want to buy Dying Light and play it. Because now I'm all like amped up to fight zombies. Because you get all prepared and you're just waiting for
Well,
it.
zombie survival horror games are they're really an educational tool that's been designed to help us learn again how to survive the zombie hordes. Another book, actually, if you guys are interested in further reading, I've been suggesting books on this episode. What the hell's going on? Is the War Z.
World War Z?
World War Z. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
World War Z. World War Z. Oh my gosh.
That's a good one.
Again, another audiobook I listened to. Don't watch the movie. The movie's like, hey, Brad Pitt makes a zombie movie.
Yeah.
And they just use the name. The book is fascinating. The level of detail and like just theory that they go into, like if this were ever to actually happening, it's quite fascinating. But let's take a quick look at the current state of zombie survival. This is budk.com, which is one of the first results that pops up when you search for zombie survival. That's why we're
clearly you've done a lot of digging to find this website.
This is really the pinnacle of zombie survival that we have right now. So we have a life straw, very very intelligent thing that we should have there. Definitely
that's
life
for
straw
filtering
drinking
water, right?
Yeah, and life straw is great for filtering water. It's personal use though, and it's got a limited lifespan though. So you might
can
want
you pee into the life straw and then have that be converted
you
into
could dip the life straw
water?
into pee and yes, pull water out. You can put it in a pool of muck. It'll clog it pretty quick, but you will get clean water through
See,
it.
all of my superfluous peeing was actually not superfluous.
Exactly.
Life-sustaining
Life-sustaining
pee.
Other than that, I mean, we got some basic stuff here. We got some survival, waterproof, stormproof matches.
Mm.
And it seems like the goal here, if you really want to survive the zombie apocalypse,
is to buy green things.
To have green on your stuff. So here's
Everything
a couple
is green.
Undead Apocalypse twin swords. I thought this would be kind of cool.
In lime
They have
green.
sheaths as well, and they look very like, I don't know.
Badass.
Yeah, I mean they look very badass.
Very
They got
aggressive
this kinda
looking.
kinky
Can't get those by
blade and
TSA.
stuff like that.
Jesus.
But I mean, these are $30. $30. I don't know if these are like combat ready. These seem a little bit more.
I don't know. Maybe this is just a really good, honest website. You know,
We got a survival hammer. I like the.
I love the guy in the suit.
I like the dude in there, the suit.
He is ready for action.
And the blunt end here with the pointed tips. That's.
I'd probably use the sharp end more though, just to get him right in the middle of the brain.
That is where the subtlety of that straw poll question that I just asked you guys is because you might immediately say, oh, I want the assault rifle, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you don't have an unlimited amount of ammo with that.
Of course, yeah.
You might run out of ammo.
Melee weapons are very
reload
valuable.
time, stuff like that.
Right.
Melee, you never run out of...
We've all played DayZ, everyone.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
oh, yeah.
We've all been there.
So, I guess my point of showing you guys this, and I mean, this goes on for 6 pages of their zombie survival stuff.
Oh,
we have saws. But they do have an undead katana. Kyle said that was going to be his...
that would be my weapon of choice. Because you get range, you don't have to deal with ammunition limitations, and it's quick and easy.
Does it make it
a little girl could use a katana to kill a zombie. It doesn't require that much.
Does it make it a more effective weapon against a zombie if the throwing star that you're throwing at it says undead on it or has a biohazard symbol?
I think that just gives you more confidence while you're throwing it.
This website's silly. Let's move on to the actual thing that I wanted to talk about. The one.
Okay.
All right. So let's get down to it here. If we're going to beat the zombie hordes,
sure,
we're going to need to do it with technology. I think that's what it comes down to, because we're dealing with an enemy that does not have like the capacity for advanced thought, but they're relentless. You know, they keep coming over and over again. So this little story here from MIT Technology Review is about metamaterial radar, right?
I know everything there is to know about
Are you guys familiar with metamaterial radar? I'm going to scroll through the story so you can see what I'm getting at here, because there's a picture of a freaking drone, right? Drone, and that's the only other pictures here. MIT Technology Review, they don't always have the most fascinating pictures. But the story, there's text in there too, and if you read that, I swear it's interesting.
Really?
But let me try to give a breakdown of what this metamaterial stuff does. Like radar, right?
Okay.
Radar requires bulky equipment.
Yep.
In order to do the stuff that radar does, they're using these things called metamaterials, which they're using I would need to read from the story. I actually thought I had made better notes on this thing, but I totally didn't.
I totally know what I'm saying.
Radar instruments that are normally used are bulky and extremely expensive. Okay, so Echodyne is this company working on this metamaterial radar, and I need to try to boil this down if I can. Metamaterials are made from repeating structures that are smaller than the wavelength of the electromagnetic radiation being manipulated.
Wow.
Does that make sense to you?
No, not at all.
Okay.
Please expand.
To put this in simpler terms, if I may, or at least just to give an example of one of the examples that they give from the article. If you think of something like the lens of a camera.
Yeah.
And the way that works, light comes into the lens is bent.
Yeah.
And the light is refracted by the curved lens, and that's what redirects the light onto like a sensor or something like that.
Right.
Using metamaterials, you could make a lens that was completely flat,
Okay.
but that had that same light refracting effect.
What is the benefit of making it flat versus curved?
I don't know. I'm just trying to explain how these metamaterials work.
Well, I mean, that's great, but I don't know what benefit you have over a flat.
Who cares how the metamaterials work? I can't explain it to you guys right now. If I can't explain it to Kyle, then I probably can't. Actually, no, that's not a very good litmus test for that. But here's the point, right? We need metamaterial radar in these drones so that we can create automatic drones that go out and hunt down the zombies. The example they're showing here in this article is a drone that they had set up with this metamaterial radar, and they were able to fly it up in a very simple demo, and it was able to do a very key thing, which was to find you. It found the person, it locked on, and it tracked him.
Okay.
So
does that mean it automatically tracks, like it follows them wherever they go automatically?
I imagine based on the software you could have it do certain things. But the idea is that it was using this radar. The radar was small enough for a drone to carry around. It had the capability to it be in the air and for it to see you, recognize you as something, and then to follow you around.
Right.
So that's really what this boils down to. That is the technology that the metamaterial radar might make available in something as small as a drone.
And hopefully, by the time the zombie apocalypse inevitably happens, we will already have this type of technology in our smartphones.
Well,
where it'll be in everyone's pockets, and we'll have some awesome aluminum-ion batteries that make our smartphones last forever, which we'll be talking about later on today's stream.
If we want to wrap up this zombie, what is this segment called again?
It's your segment.
Zombie Survival Weekly.
Yes.
I think what we need to do is we need to use this material to have drones that are equipped with the metamaterial radar, as well as lethal ranged weapons.
On the drones.
Yeah, on the drones. So that way, most zombie survival things, they're holed up in a building and they're just waiting for the hordes of zombies. But you're in the building, you're just like, I'm going to go up to the roof.
Right.
With my fleet of metamaterial radar drones.
App-enabled, of course.
And then I'm just going to sit there,
hordes.
And, maybe I'll take direct control of one and, zap some zombies. But other than that, they're just going to go out, they're going to find the zombies, and they're going to take care of them.
I'm actually
Problem solved.
That some of that actually already exists. I'm waiting on Barnacle*'s review of one of these drones,
but we don't have it available at the consumer level. I think that's really what we need.
Jerry has access.
Jerry's
he knows people,
and if he doesn't, he can 3D print one for you.
Exactly.
All right, that's the end of Zombie Survival Weekly. I hope you guys have learned something. And if anyone is at this point, watching this and being like, "This is called awesome hardware," they're not talking about hardware.
There's some hardware in there.
We'll talk about hardware shortly.
Zombie hardware.
Also, we'll talk about whatever we damn well please.
Yeah, shit.
You theoretical person who I just made up. Okay, it's time for Sword Fight.
Sword
Fight. All right, Sword Fight is my the most regular segment that I do on my half of the show. The Sword Fight is an interactive segment, so we want... Oh, you know what? Speaking of interactive segment, I never went back to that straw poll.
Yeah, let's see the results of the poll that you took.
Of the straw poll.
Oh, it's kind of polarizing.
That's good, Kyle. All right, so most people are going with the sword or axe.
Boom.
Kyle had it right there.
I am the majority.
25 votes, or 33, a full third of people are going to go with a sword. So we're looking at melee. No need to reload. We're looking at a sharp weapon.
Yeah,
which is different than a blunt force weapon.
Oh yeah.
And we're looking at something that has enough length to...
Range is very important.
Especially when there's hordes coming from all directions.
You're coming from all sides. But I think having it sharp over blunt is very important because it requires less force to impact your enemy with a sharp object.
You could pass through multiple zombies.
And you could if you're fucking Michonne from Walking Dead or something.
Shotgun, assault rifle, and flamethrower all tied for second.
Nice.
So any one of those and you'll be in second place.
Flamethrower.
We also had a baseball bat got right up there. Not many people interested in the handgun. A few people went for the knife. Now, here's my argument for the knife, if I may delay the next segment for just a moment. Okay. My argument for the knife is that it can be used for more than just killing zombies. If I'm in a survival situation, I want a knife.
Well, you could use a katana for that, too.
You could maybe use a katana for that, yes. So that's a possible thing, and I probably would go for a katana or something like that. But I think a knife is very important.
It'd be good to have both. Dual wield. Dual wield that shit.
All right, let's wait. Let me close some of these. So, guess what comes out next week? You guys all know this.
Oh! GTA 5?
GTA 5. Cheers, GTA 5.
Cheers. Oh my gosh, it's coming! It's here!
Delicious GTA 5.
But we just heard that it's being pushed back another 2 weeks. Rockstar has stated... No, I'm totally fucking around.
Kyle, you dick.
Totally joking.
All right, now first, just a quick bit of news as we start off the sword fight segment, which is it's available for preload right now.
It's preloading. By the way, truth be told, it's preloading on the Definer 5 system behind Paul right now.
Which means that Kyle cares more about downloading GTA 5 than he does about the quality of our live stream.
Well, I mean, I'm pirating it, so I don't really care that much. No, I'm just totally
it's paused, right?
It's paused.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
Now, the funny thing here is Kyle discovered how much space it requires.
62 gigs! Damn, son!
62 freaking gigs.
Johnson, if I don't say myself.
I saw 62 gigs, I was like, Johnson! What's going to happen next? Alright, yeah, so I just popped a straw poll into chat for you guys, which is GTA 5 for PC has already been delayed many, many times. We've discussed this before. So the question in the straw poll, and Kyle and I are going to argue this right now, how much would another 2-week GTA 5 delay be worth to you? Let's say right now it was up to you. Rockstar's right there, and they're like, "Hey, Kyle. We could launch on Tuesday, like we're planning to, but right now we're gonna give you this option. You could push it back. We could push it back 2 weeks. You will get
whatever you want.
So what would it take for you to agree to that?" While you think about it, I'm just going to go over the options that I've posted.
All right.
One would be another $1.5 million in-game cash, because that's what they have provided to those of us who pre-ordered. Sure. I did pre-order the game, by the way. I felt bad about it, but I finally did pre-order. They added the $0.5 million based on the delays.
Yeah.
But yeah, so another $1.5 mil. Second option is just $1.5 mil. In cash?
Just real world
just
cash?
Actual money?
Out of game cash.
And the third option is basically no.
Nothing. Nothing will do.
So
man.
Which side of this do you want to take? Do you want to take... I'm going to take some money. I'm going to take a bribe. And I'll push it back and who cares? It doesn't matter? Or do you want to...
I mean, the 1.5 million IRL cash would be nice.
Okay.
But that doesn't give me any more in-game cash.
That's true.
So I'd probably take the 1.5 mil in-game cash, like a smart person, and that'd be that. What about you?
I'll go for option 3, that I will kill you and everyone you love.
That'd be my second option.
Give me my GTA 5.
That'd be my second option. 1.5
We're really ready for it. I don't know. It's a difficult speculation to make. What it would take. I will say, $1.5 million cash. I'll take that. I'll make all you guys.
You know what it would take? You know what it would take? It would take something else added to the game.
Okay.
Where I knew that they were working on something that I didn't even know about. Where it's like, oh shit, they're introducing this game mode this element of the game. That would be something worth waiting for, I think.
A more compelling question.
Even though I'd still hate them
2 more weeks,
forever.
2 more weeks, and you can have a full immersive experience with like an Oculus.
Yeah, something like that would be kind of cool.
Like a VR thing. Just something like that.
Right.
That would have been a better question. That would have made this
more playability of the game in general. Yeah.
All right, well...
or I did say God mode earlier.
Kyle was suggesting God mode, but I think that would be stupid to be... Not to be too harsh on you, Kyle, but
no.
God mode in a
I
game
think that's
makes
awesome.
the game not fun.
You know what doesn't make it fun? Never getting to fucking play it.
That's true too.
Yeah. Give me God mode.
All right. Well, I mean, I could go on the side of your the side that your parents tell you when you're like waiting for Christmas or something like that, which is like, it's just gonna make it that much better since you've been waiting so long, right?
Full of shit, Mom and Dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. The
But it does sound like
mods, add-ons, all that sort of thing.
this survey aside, though, it does sound like Rockstar is really buckling down, and they are gonna hit that April. What is it? 14th launch.
You mean a
12th?
week from today?
A week from today.
1 week from today.
Yeah, I think that they're gonna actually go through with it.
They better if they were gonna delay it.
I mean, on the official trailer, it even says the release date and everything. Well, yeah.
I'm fully expecting the release date to be a week from today.
And
speaking of which,
preloading, I think, is some indication.
Oh yeah, if it's preloading, it's fine.
Yeah,
62 freaking gigs.
That's pretty heavy. But think about it. It's the biggest GTA
they have very detailed
game yet.
Textures on like all the crack rocks. And other
and the non-crack rocks
in the game. Anyway,
they don't discriminate between rocks.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and check some results here.
All right.
I want to see what people have to say about that.
All right.
As expected, we actually had several people who, like me, would be willing to sell everyone out for $1.5 million.
And even more people that would like to kill everyone you love.
That's a pretty big selling point. But yeah, I agree with all of you guys who said that you want to kill everyone that we love. We need that GTA 5. But hey,
yeah, we really
that's
do.
coming next week, guys. 1 week.
Yep.
So guess what else would be 1 week from today?
Awesome hardware?
Awesome hardware.
Oh, snap.
And what do we typically do in the evenings after awesome hardware?
We play video games.
We often play video games. We've been doing that fairly consistently.
Oh.
It's usually delayed a bit. It's usually a couple hours after the live stream ends because we have to go our separate ways and eat dinner and talk to our loved ones and all that kind of thing.
Right.
But
fun.
Next week could be an interesting situation.
So I think maybe we should just play GTA 5 the entire evening.
That is the theory. Now there's another factor to this, a non-GTA 5 related one.
No, there isn't.
That we need to bring up.
No.
Yes, there is.
What do you... No.
All right, where are you going to be this weekend, Kyle?
I'm going to be at a music festival in Indio, California.
It's called Coachella.
I will be there from Thursday to Monday morning, Monday afternoon-ish.
He's going to be doing lines off of strippers' boobs.
That is not what I'll be doing.
The entire time.
There are no strippers there.
No. He's going to be doing lines off of,
old hairy men.
Old hairy men. I was going to say, like music festival attendees. But I suppose old hairy men could fall into that one. But anyway, that's
it's going to be an exhaustive weekend for me.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. It's literally a 4-day festival where you go out and you drink a bunch of beer and you go see bands that you love and you hang out with a bunch of people, and it's 4 days straight. I mean, you virtually get no sleep, which I'm kind of used to already. But the heavy drinking that is piled on top of what I'm already used to is going to take a toll on my body, and both physically and mentally. So when Tuesday rolls around and it's time for another episode of Awesome Hardware, and we got to be all pepped up and stuff, I might not have the same enthusiasm to pre-plan for the show as I normally do. So in that event, in that case, where I am just too shit-wrecked, quite frankly, to carry on, would you guys be okay with Paul and I just doing an evening-long stream in place of Awesome Hardware, where he and I basically just get together and play some GTA F and 5 for the first time live?
Now, we were going to do some GTA 5 regardless, at least in the after-show stream, but since this is a game that a lot of us have been looking forward to, we were thinking about integrating it as part of the normal stream, or possibly even gaming both of us together instead of going our separate ways or whatever.
Yeah.
But also, Kyle wanted to at least prepare any of you guys out there for the fact that there's a...
I'll be roughing it for sure.
Follow us on Twitter if you haven't already, and check out our tweeting on Monday, and we'll give you guys a good idea of what's going to happen. But the question here is, should we just do regular Awesome Hardware next week, or should we just play GTA 5? I'm going to say we should do Awesome Hardware. This is a tradition, an established, long-lasting tradition. We have hordes of fans who have come to expect
They're
us
not whores.
I said hordes.
Be easy on them.
Hordes
they're still
of fans.
learning.
hordes, like in World of Warcraft.
These are our friends.
Well, of course they're our friends.
Just don't like you
They're
calling
hordes of friends.
terrible things like that.
No, that's... But I think that we probably have at least, like, I mean, the dollar would probably suffer a pretty big hit, value-wise.
The dollar?
Yeah, the U.S. dollar.
Oh, yes.
Economy, I think it's going to have
if we didn't have a stream.
Yeah, if we didn't have the Awesome Hardware stream.
Absolutely.
We'd probably have at least a few people threaten our lives.
Yeah.
That's kind of... I mean, but that's kind of become commonplace. So, I think we should do it, but Kyle, let's hear your reasons why we should not do it. Or
you want to? Oh, this is a sword fight, right?
This is a sword fight.
Okay, so my reasons for not doing it: A, I might not be all there. You wouldn't want to see me do a live stream of Awesome Hardware anyway. In that state of mind, actually, you probably would, but it won't be pretty. I guarantee you that.
I certainly would.
I guarantee you that. The other thing is that yeah, we could do a regular episode of Awesome Hardware. And we could do the gaming part afterwards at like 9 p.m. PST.
Yes.
But we have a lot of viewers and a lot of fans that are from different parts of the world that can't really catch us on a Tuesday night, which is a weekday, obviously.
Parts of the world that don't celebrate National Beer Day.
That don't celebrate National Beer Day, otherwise they'd be up all hours of the night celebrating.
Still sad about that.
So it might be kind of cool to hop on at an earlier time and game and potentially reach out to a larger community of our viewers, a larger group of them, and actually play with them. Whereas if we did the Awesome Hardware show first and then gamed, I would say at least 50% of our viewers would already have to be in bed or asleep for work the next day. So I think in any other scenario, this probably wouldn't be acceptable, but because it's GTA effing 5 and it's been pushed back and back and back for so long, I think that warrants a special occasion type stream.
Okay,
so that's my argument.
None of what you said there actually matters. We're gonna look at the results and see what people say.
I hate you so much.
Actually, we have a pretty strong showing here for a shorter Awesome Hardware, and then GTA 5 following it up. So
yeah, totally.
I'd be cool with that.
Yeah, damn straight you would.
But
it'd be awesome.
So you got to get to my house though, because it's at my place next week.
That's okay. I can do that. I can do that.
And then for the show,
as long as I'm alive, I can do that.
We'll treat Kyle like the what are they called in shoot? I'm having terrible brain fart. You know the Tom Cruise movie with the
he's been in so many movies. Yeah.
No, we could
That's the best you can do.
The one with all the screens.
Minority Report.
Minority Report.
There
yes.
you go.
What are the precogs? Precogs in Minority Report.
Yes.
We'll treat Kyle like a precog, right?
Okay.
He'll just be lying there. He'll be kind of in a daze and whatever, and I'll like talk a little bit, and then every once in a while we'll come to a like key poignant question, and we'll like ask Kyle, and he'll be sitting there like mumbling gibberish or whatever, but suddenly like he'll have a moment of clarity and he'll like spit out the answer, and then we'll know that someone's about to be murdered. That's.
That'll be the last episode of Awesome Hardware.
So make sure you subscribe to watch next week's show. It's going to be absolutely fascinating.
Stay tuned.
All right.
Sweet.
My segment has already gone very long. That sounded mildly suggestive.
You have a really long segment,
let's
Paul.
move to my final bit here, which is tech news. We're going to close out my half of the show with some tech news. I'm going to run through these theoretically very quickly because last week my side of the show was an hour and a half, which was because we drank too much and lost track of time. But I'm going to try to keep things relatively timely here. All right. So let's start out with tech news number one, which is a little bit of news from over here on the Hexus side, which is Intel's Compute Stick. Are you familiar with this?
I've heard briefly about it.
The Compute Stick from Intel is now available for pre-order. If you guys are interested in this Compute Stick, it's available on the 24th of April is when it theoretically it will be shipping out. And there's a picture of it, Intel Inside logo, very small little stick, and it just plugs in via an HDMI port. On your system, and you can see here their pre-orders. I think these are from Newegg.
Does that have a fan in it?
Man, that Intel Software Starter Pack sure has pretty poor ratings.
It's just one review.
One in the middle.
It's just one review.
There's two versions of it, and yes, the theory is that it has a teeny tiny fan.
Okay.
Although that hasn't actually been confirmed. That's one of the things.
I can't imagine why else it'd have ventilation
in the story here, but it's an interesting little device. It reminds me a little bit of like a Chromecast.
Right.
But the Chromecast is not a full computer. The Chromecast requires you to cast something to it
Yes.
for it to be Chromecast.
So does this actually have like Windows 8.1?
There's two versions of it.
Okay.
So you get two options. This was first actually shown at CES 2015 in Las Vegas back in January. So there's a Linux version, which is less expensive and actually has lower hardware specs as well. That gives 8 gigs of storage, 1 gig of RAM, costs about $110.
Okay.
So $110 for a tiny little
really
computer that you plug into your computer.
That's very affordable.
Plug into your
your TV.
HTPC. HTPC is like a huge selling point for something like this. If you have you got a TV already, it's like instantly making it not just a smart TV, but making it a full Windows PC or Linux PC. So the Linux version is $110, 8 gigs of storage, and 1 gig of RAM.
Okay.
There's a Windows 8.1 with Bing version, which is the free-ish version of Windows 8.1, but it has some Bing advertising in there.
Okay.
That has 32 gigs of storage and 2 gigs of RAM. So the specs jump up on that, and that's $150. So for only 40 more bucks, you get quite a bit more storage and double the RAM.
Yeah, definitely. I'd
so
probably
that's
opt for that one.
compelling, but
But do you have to deal with Bing then? That's like you're paying more. And
yeah, it's Windows 8.1 with Bing. I mean, if you guys watch this show and you are the kind of people who build lots of computers and you have Windows 8 licenses lying around, you can. I mean, it's still a computer, so you could upgrade it.
I hate how Intel advertises it as Windows 8.1 with Bing as if it's like a perk.
Oh, yeah.
When it's clearly just probably bloatware and adware shit that you don't want.
It's like when Kingston launched the HyperX 3K SSDs.
Oh, right, yeah. And then they tried to make that out to be an obscure
comparison. Yeah, like, hey, these are the 3K SSDs. Like, oh, you mean...
But on the bright side, they were much more affordable than the non-3K versions, which people understood.
They were.
Whereas this, you're paying more for it. Sure, you're getting more specs, but the fact that they're advertising it with Bing as a perk, I think is very misleading. And no.
Yeah.
No.
At the heart of the little computer on a stick is an Intel Bay Trail quad-core Atom Z... So it's a quad-core.
Yeah.
Nice. Atom Z3735F processor. It's got a mini and a full-size USB port on it. It's got wireless connectivity. It's got an SD card built in.
Nice.
SD card slot built in for
pretty feature rich.
And Bluetooth 4.
Cool.
I like that it's got Bluetooth 4 because it means you can use Bluetooth for peripherals,
keyboard,
and mouse, and you wouldn't have to use up your USB ports since you're pretty limited on those.
Yep.
But I mean, even a full-size USB port, you could put to a powered hub and expand the connectivity for that.
Right.
So HTPC use. A thin client PC or something like that.
This would be great for traveling, like going to a hotel, staying in a hotel room, and just the TV, just stick it in the HDMI port, and you have your system right there. You can watch movies or whatever from
that'd be really cool. So,
nice.
Yeah, that's pretty much the Intel Compute Stick, and there's been a little bit of buzz about that, so you guys can check it out. Next up, we have a bit of legal news. It's legal news, but it's about NVIDIA, so it's like technical legal news.
Legal news. Yep.
So NVIDIA kind of recently has filed a patent lawsuit, which is the first time they've ever done this.
Okay.
Patent lawsuits, for me, when I hear like X person filed a patent X entity filed a patent lawsuit, I'm always like, oh, they're stupid. But that's because it's been ingrained in me that patent trolls file patent lawsuits.
Yeah.
So this is NVIDIA filing this lawsuit, and it's the first lawsuit of this kind that they've ever done.
Right.
Basically, what they're saying is that wait, where are my notes here? It's against Samsung and Qualcomm. It's a U.S.-based lawsuit, and this article is saying that NVIDIA is pleased with the current proceedings. They're in an early phase of these proceedings, which has some name. Oh, it's called a Markman ruling. Which is basically them looking over the case and the early point and saying, like, does this case even have validity, or is it worth going to court with? So there's some quotes here and blah blah, and a picture of NVIDIA headquarters. I'll get the article off the screen because it's kind of dry, but I think you guys are going to be at least kind of interested in this because other than it being NVIDIA's first patent lawsuit in 22 years, NVIDIA is basically claiming that the GPUs that are found in Samsung phones, mobile phones, infringe on 7 of NVIDIA's patents. And NVIDIA, being a GPU manufacturer, obviously has a whole slew of...
Is this infringing on their Tesla line of CPUs? Or
the patents... APUs? Their patents are listed... Someone in the comments listed all the patents.
Okay.
And I was going to bring that up, but I just felt like it would be a little bit too dry. It's... Yeah, guys, read the story if you're really interested in which patents. It's like patents on like some pretty core level stuff that GPUs do. But yeah, the funny thing is here is that they're suing Samsung, or they filed this patent suit against Samsung and Qualcomm, but really the developers of the hardware that are infringing on the patents is not Samsung and Qualcomm themselves necessarily. The GPUs in question are based on ARM's Mali, Imagination Technologies' PowerVR, and Qualcomm's Adreno technology. So these are like ARM-based processors with GPU elements integrated.
Okay.
And like the funny thing is that Samsung and Qualcomm, Qualcomm did a little bit, but Samsung like didn't build these chips. They were built by companies that Qualcomm bought them from. Now, the reason that's kind of interesting is if you look at Samsung news recently, there was some rumors that Samsung wanted to buy AMD. You remember this?
I do.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure you're staying with me here.
I am.
So
Totally focused.
now, Samsung wanting to buy AMD was kind of weird for some people, but looking at something like this could be a much better explanation of why.
Right.
Because Samsung obviously probably is kind of irritated that the chips that they purchased to use from ARM, from Imagination Technology or Qualcomm's, they didn't develop them, but now they're being served this lawsuit probably because Samsung has lots of money and they're like a good person to sue.
Right.
So Samsung could in turn turn around and sue the companies that provided them with these chips,
right,
and say, hey, you made
sold us patented chips.
You made chips based on
NVIDIA's
technology
chips
that you didn't own or patent, stuff that you didn't own.
Basically pointing the finger elsewhere.
And then sold them to us. But that's all, then legal fees and all that kind of stuff. It's a pain in the butt.
Yeah.
So this could be a reason why Samsung would be interested in purchasing a company like AMD. And I guess that's really kind of the point of this article, or the point why I brought up this article, was because that's kind of out there. It's, some people said it might not happen. Some people said actually it's more likely to happen.
Yeah.
But that could be a reason. And Samsung is a company that has, the money behind them to actually do something like that. So
that would be interesting.
It could be interesting, and I'm still on the fence. I need to look into it more as far as what the repercussions would be if Samsung actually did purchase AMD, but it's interesting. Okay,
cool.
Yay. One last story here for my segment, or for my half of the show. So, OnLive.
OnLive, what's that?
Good question, Kyle.
Yeah.
OnLive, to me, OnLive is the company whose name people keep bringing up when people are trying to explain what Grid is.
Okay.
Like, anytime somebody's like, NVIDIA's doing Grid, I'm like, what's Grid? Like, well, they have these servers and, all these GPUs, and they process the games, and then they send them over the internet, and then you play them. But it's all being done remotely.
Right.
It's kind of like OnLive.
Okay.
Except they don't say it's kind of like OnLive. They say it's like that. There's like a company that did this before. I don't remember what they are. What's their name again? It's OnLive.
Yeah.
Yeah. So OnLive has been purchased by Sony.
Yeah.
And then they're going to be shut down.
Wow.
Yeah. This is one of those things that seems very impractical when you're like just looking at it, just reading a headline. There's no pictures in this story. I've just picked the most dry things. I'm just trying to put something on the screen.
Read all the words.
Besides our ugly mugs. But, yeah, so Sony has acquired OnLive, but it's shutting it down. Or they were already going to shut down. The reason they're doing this is because OnLive has patents.
Okay.
So OnLive was the original, like the OG game streaming service, where the game is actually owned and rendered by OnLive.
Okay.
They have servers that run the game. You have an internet connection to them that takes your inputs over the internet and then sends you back a picture of what's going on the screen.
Yeah.
And they've been in business for a little while.
Okay.
But following the termination of the company's services and related products, OnLive will engage in an orderly wind down of the company and cease operations. The reason is because OnLive hasn't been particularly successful. They've dealt with they had to file bankruptcy a little while back. They were founded over 10 years ago by Steve Perlman, who worked for Apple and Microsoft at different points.
Okay.
And most recently, like some of the more recent news, in 2012, for example, like about 3 years ago, OnLive said it had about 1.75 million active users. some of them were paying their subscription fee, which is $10 a month, $9.99.
Okay.
And they had a library of 250 games that you could play.
It's not very many.
It's not a ton. They had done some stuff with Steam later in their life and everything, but I mean, it was one of those things where it was like a good concept, but it came about, it seems like, just a little bit too early.
Too premature.
In technological developments. The broadband wasn't as widespread. You had to deal with latency and stuff like that, and it just wasn't as good of an experience for people.
Right.
So that's why it's kind of winding down. But Grid is definitely like a similar service, and NVIDIA has really been pushing that, and that seems like it has some definite potential.
Okay.
But OnLive for now is owned by Sony, and the idea or the theory is that Sony is going to be taking OnLive's patents, which are largely related to live streaming, and Sony has obviously been delving into that recently with like the PS4 and the Twitch integration and that sort of thing. So who knows what they're going to be doing with it or with those patents, but if you guys didn't know what OnLive was, maybe you know a little bit more now.
And now you can easily forget about it.
And now you can forget about it again because it's owned by Sony and it's going away.
That's right.
But I'm kind of curious to see what Sony will actually do with that. But
yeah,
that's all for my half of the show, guys. Thank you all for tuning in. If you're watching live, don't go anywhere. We're going to be right back in just a moment with Kyle's half of the show.
That's right.
If you're watching in the future on YouTube, click on the link in the description or wait just a moment and we'll have a link and you can bounce over there and watch the rest of the show.
Yep.
But other than that, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channels and go to our stores and all that good stuff. It's been wonderful talking to you. Now we'll move to Kyle's show, which is like, it's okay, I guess.
No, it'll be great. It'll be great. We'll be right there. We'll see you guys in a bit.
It's decent.
All right, we're good.
Are you going to take a pee break?
Nope.
You're taking...
Bye.